Kia ora koto katoa. Warm greetings to you all, and welcome to Talk 4 of the Connect and Develop series. I'm Joel Terwilliger, Alumni Relations Manager at the University of Auckland, and it's a real pleasure to be with you today. If this is your first talk in the series, thanks for being here. And if you've joined a previous talk, it's great to have you back. Rapid changes to the world of work mean more reskilling and upskilling than ever before. And the Connect and Develop series is here to bring you tools that can help you adapt and be ready for ongoing change. Today's topic, Coaching Yourself and Others, Guideposts for a Rewarding Career, is an important tool that is foundational to building a successful and meaningful career. From the early stages of planning your career path, to navigating periods of personal and professional transition, to empowering others along the way. Our speaker is Tina Jiang, who is joining us from Shanghai and is currently VP, Head of HR, APAC region at GEA Group. She has extensive experience coaching executives, delivering coach training programs, and mentoring new talent. Joining Tina today is our MC, Liz Berry. In addition to her role as career development consultant here at the university, she is an experienced coach. Over the past 20 years, Liz has coached thousands of people through the process of defining their ideal work and creating the career path that is the right fit for them. Last year, she founded Liz Berry Coaching, where she continues to help clients answer the question, what's next? And awaken to new possibilities for bringing satisfaction, purpose, and joy to their professional and personal lives. Liz is going to share a bit more about our speaker, Tina, with us in a moment, and later, have a brief conversation with her before opening it up to ask your questions toward the end. On behalf of all of us here at the university, I'd like to say many thanks to Liz and Tina for being a part of this series. And to everyone joining us, I hope you find today's webinar useful and inspiring. Take it away, Liz.
Thanks, Joel. No mai, haere mai, everybody. Great to be here. Before I start introducing Tina, I want to cover a few tips of participating in today's webinar. The Q&A function at the bottom of your on-screen Zoom panel is live. Please submit your questions at any time. We'll be monitoring them as we go. I also encourage you to upvote the questions you find the most interesting, and these questions will move you to the top of the Q&A screen. Toward the end of today's webinar, Tina will be answering some of the highest rated questions. Now on to introducing today's speaker, Tina Jiang. In addition to her role as VP, Head of HR APAC region at GEA Group, Tina is a globally certified professional coach and a key faculty member of Ericsson College International, a worldwide provider of human development and coach training programs. Prior to GEA, she has held senior HR roles in China, the US, Singapore, and New Zealand across the automotive, finance, real estate, hospitality, and public sectors. Tina has also piloted and instituted several large-scale innovative people development programs, received the World Management Review Best HR Manager of Greater China Award, and is a frequent keynote speaker at high-profile HR and talent management conferences in China. And I have to say, to add to this, Tina is an alum from the University of Auckland with a master's in business. Is it business management, Tina? You can tell me. Management and employment relations. So it's great to have you here. Welcome, Tina. Over to you.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, for me, it's 7:20 in China. So I don't know, it's already lunchtime maybe for you. So I still have my bear with me. Yeah, from Auckland University. So I'm very proud of being here. Hello, all the friends here. And I'm very happy to share my experience in coaching and hopefully can, give you some kind of insights how to coach yourself. So I just put in this mode and you will see that is my title for today, Coaching Yourself and Others. So it's for a rewarding career path for all of you. And my name is Jiang. I'm in Shanghai at this moment. So I want to let you know, maybe some of you not very familiar about what coaching is. Based on my understanding, coaching is just a process that to support the people to explore their potentials and also take sustainable actions to really achieve the life they want by listening and the power questioning from the coach. The coach doesn't give suggest normally. So I became a student of University of Auckland. So you can see this is my graduation picture. I still have that. It looks much younger, but I can still feel the energy from that moment. That was taken in 2005. And about 20 years ago, it's just can't imagine, time flies. About 20 years ago, I decided to go to New Zealand to take this study due to a session of self-coaching. At that moment, my first degree actually is from engineering. I was engineer for several years, but I still felt something calling from my heart, even from my stomach, saying, oh, I like to talk with people. I like to, support the people side of the business. So at that moment, oh, how can I become a people person? To make the long story, there are so many stories happen in between, but I want to make it short, is I got the chance to become HR manager in one of the companies that Liz just introduced. And I tried my heart, I talk with people, I developed the training programs, and I have done a lot. After several years, I just realized maybe my degree in engineer doesn't really support me to grow in a career in HR. Because when I want to look at another new job, I got challenged. Oh, you were engineer. How come you can become a good HR manager? I thought maybe I need to upskill myself or upgrade myself a little bit. So at that moment, there was, I participated in a leadership training organized by another, external training. And I was so impressed by the trainer who was delivering the training, by drawing on the flip chart, and she talks nicely, very elegant. I said, wow, this is a person I want to be. I want to be such kind of a trainer with rich knowledge in leadership and also people management. So I tried to sit just next to her during lunchtime, and I asked her, yeah, Cindy, could you please tell me, how did you become you? And she said, oh, that's a nice question. Firstly, I enjoy my job now because one reason I tell you, I could spend summertime with my daughter if I don't teach. I said, wow, that's wonderful, because I have a young daughter at that moment. I want to spend summertime with my daughter as well. How can I become her? I just start to ask my question. How can I become her? That's the picture I really want to see of myself. And I found I didn't speak English well, because after I graduated from my Chinese university, I didn't have chance to speak English at all. Maybe several sentences like, how are you? How old are you? Are you a student? Yes, I am. Maybe that's all what I can talk. I need to learn English. And what are some competencies I need to build? I need to learn some theories or knowledge about the leadership and the people management that I don't have. And anything else? Oh, I need examples, because she gave so many wonderful examples to really explain, the theory and behind. It's so wonderful. I didn't have enough experience and examples. How can I really close the gaps and make me to be a good trainer? So those were the questions I asked myself. Even at that moment, I didn't know coaching. I didn't learn coaching. I was doing some self-coaching. Actually, everybody is a coach, even you didn't realize. When you were young, you were coaching yourself. And when you, through the year you grown up, you always coaching yourself. Maybe you didn't know. That's the way you ask yourself questions, open-ended questions. And to close all these gaps, I and my family, we decided to immigrate to New Zealand, and I joined the University of Auckland. You know, the journey was not easy, but finally I achieved it. Even I wrote the thesis and published in the journal globally. So I was so proud of myself. And because of such kind of experience, really enriched myself to become a good HR manager. And then maybe you would ask me, Tina, now you are a coach. So from a HR manager to a professional certified coach, also because of self-coaching. You know, as an HR manager, we have a strong passion to develop people. We want to talk to them. We want to give some advice. We want to deliver training. We want to do so many things to support people. And after a while, I found sometimes even I told this guy, oh, you should do this, you should do that, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't, you know, do it in this way. And he didn't follow. He still did what he was doing. I was confused why he didn't, you know, do what he promised me. Where his commitment go? He said he wanted to do that. And I just realized maybe telling people to do something doesn't work sometimes. Maybe you have the experience. Even we tell our children, they didn't follow, they didn't listen. They don't like to listen to us. Do you have such kind of experience? So teaching, telling people is just one way of developing people. Anything else? So I start to ask questions of myself. And also by accident, you know, even it's accident, but you know, always the opportunity is prepared for you if you are thinking about something. And I got to know coaching. And I was, you know, joined a kind of a promotion session, and there was a demo of coaching, demo of coaching. So I saw the guy, he went up on the stage. And at that moment, he was so down and he didn't know what he wanted. And just after 10 to 15 minutes, conversation between the guy and the coach who was demo this kind of coaching session. And I saw the shining eyes of the guy, and you can see the face changed. And she said, oh, I want to do this. I will talk to my manager. And the coach followed by another question. When are you going to do this? He said, tomorrow I'm going to have a business trip, probably the day after tomorrow. And when are you going to do the day after tomorrow? He said, 9 o'clock. When I get to the office, I will schedule a meeting with my boss. I want to talk to him. This is something I want to do. Wow, it's so committed. I saw the commitment from this guy. And interestingly, because the coach keeps on asking the question to deep into the details, and also ask guy to paint the picture that he is exactly doing the thing he talks about. So that put off a lot of energy in the body. So I said, wow, that's something amazing. It's just like magic, you know, change people. Maybe I can be a coach. How can I become a coach? I need to study coaching. And that was 2012, almost 9 years ago. I started the coaching delivered by Australia, Coaching Australia, and then I started Irishman coaching, some other coaching. I started several type of coaching, just want to enrich myself to become a very, very comprehensive, you know, I have comprehensive coaching skills. So I want to share some of my personal story telling you self-coaching works. And also, if you really follow your hearts, you will listen to your heart, what you want, and also you will try to find solutions. So currently, I'm a faculty of Erickson coaching, and we're teaching solution-focused coaching. So I also want you to be able to coach yourself one day. Maybe you will see, Tina, you talk so many things about the vision and you have a dream. And I also want to let you know, pay attention to the dissatisfaction. to the discomfortable in your heart, because sometimes the energy comes from there as well. So we say if there's a crack, the light will come from there. So pay attention to some discomfortable and the dissatisfaction. Ask yourself, what is happening? What makes me uncomfortable? If this is something I don't want, what I want. And then you need to have a clear vision about the life you want. The more detailed, the more life, the more energy you will get, and you will be motivated to achieve the vision. However, what does this FS means? This means first step, you need to start a very tiny step, even it's very small. You know, if you think I want to change my career from engineer to HR manager, it sounds big, a huge project. How can I achieve that? So you need to really detail all the steps you can do and start from something that you can achieve, even maybe within a few minutes. For example, you do a searching on Google or something, just make yourself have a better understanding of the subject. So that also helps. So this is a formula for change by Richard Bickhart. And I also want to call it a development model. And what does this RC stand for? This resistance of change. So if you really have a strong vision and you know why you are so discomfort, you are not satisfied with your current situation, and you plan a small step for yourself, you will overcome the resistance of change. So I want to share this formula with you, and also probably you will understand why sometimes I'm thinking something, but I'm still here. Maybe you are missing some of the steps in the process. So I just ask you to pay attention to this forum and think about what you really want to achieve. And how does coaching work? In my life, I coached many people, like Liz just introduced. I coach executives in my companies and the young talents, and also a lot of students. So why does coaching work? So you can see from the picture, coaching can help you to really, streamline your thinking to have a better understanding, because you will have so many things in our brain, like so many monkeys in the brain, and we felt busy and also anxious, and you need to really see things through and enlighten yourself, and also connect the heart with your brain. I have some examples. Like I talk about, even some discomfortable from your body, you also need to listen to it. I have a student, and one day he got very heavy stomachache. He said, it's very pain. I can't stand for it. I need some medicine. I said, okay, please, sit down, maybe drink some water. We like to drink warm water in China. Drink some warm water. And maybe you take deep breaths and put your hand in the stomach. You ask it, what you want to tell me? If he or she is here to deliver a message to you, what does he want to tell you? I don't feel comfortable recently. I'm very tired and I got a lot of work to do, and I don't like it. I hate it. Okay. So if this is something he tells you, even something more important for you, if he's delivering what this message is. And she said, because those jobs came from my boss or my organization. I understand those other things, very important for my organization. I need to do that. However, it's just too much. I still want to do something else for myself, even to balance my family. Okay, I ask her another question. If you listen this carefully and ask the stomach, anything else even more important if you really want to achieve something you want to do? And finally she said, I want some freedom. I want something to really decide it by myself. Even this stuff, this work is important, but I want to develop some initiative by myself. I don't want to just follow somebody else, only following. I want to take some initiative. So, freedom. So I just asked her to imagine if you have the complete freedom, you are totally free, what you are going to do. And then she came up several steps and just want to let you know. So those kind of a conversation helps. And I use what he got to ask a question to check. Okay, now you say you feel stomachache. How do you feel your stomach? He said, wow, it's much better. I don't feel the stomach anymore, even I was talking. So, wow, okay, I'm not a doctor, but how sometimes you use the coaching skills can really make people, be more cautious and awareness of themselves, even from the body. Okay. And another example I had is also supporting students who is going to take MBA examination. And he was very nervous. He called me, Tina, I needed to coach. Probably I'm so nervous because tomorrow I'm going to have the examination. I said, okay, so if you are fully, ready to take the examination, is we use a scaling line. If you are fully ready, it's 10. And if you're not very sure, it's 1. Where are you now? He said, probably 7. I say, oh, not bad. 7 is a good scoring, And then what you want to achieve? He said, at least a 9, probably. And tell me, how do you feel if you are 9 score? And he said, I will be fully ready. And I'm, sitting in a computer, in front of the computer. I saw the examination, but I'm so calm, I can do this. And I just made a little bit, fun with him. Considering you are 9.5, so how would you see yourself? And I'm sitting there, I can, do all the exams and I'm so confident. Okay, so actually this scaling line is a confidence line. And I asked him to stand in the point 9.5, even he moved to 10 eventually, and feel the confidence of yourself and see the picture you are taking the examination. And he did. And also he came up some ideas to support him from 7 to 9. He said, I need to maybe read one more chapter in my textbook, and I can have a conversation with my friends who did the examination before. How did he feel? Some maybe experience can share with me. Maybe I can cook a nice lunch or dinner for me. I need to, reward myself in a nice way. I said, wow, yes, please do that. And I can tell you, and this guy finally, he got enrolled in Chicago Booth, the MBA students, Some examples, I just make this a little bit shorter, sharing with you, coaching really works. And when you ask open-ended question and let people feel the connection from the brain and heart, the whole body, and he will be enlightened. So maybe you are interested in coaching, and I have 4 steps questions for you to take away if you want. The first question, like Joe just mentioned, what's next? This question we ask. Once we achieve something, once we are in the status of life, we always want to think about what's next. Is what do you want? But oftenly, maybe you also know, when we ask this question, people told us, oh, I don't want to be tired. I don't want to be bored. I don't like this. I don't like that. So they don't think in a positive way, what do you want? They always think about something they don't want. Our brain is very naughty. When you think about something you don't want, you still have the picture image in your mind. When you say, I don't want to tired, you can imagine what picture in your mind. You must see a tiring you here, right? So we have to say, if I don't want to be tired, what I want to be. I want to be relaxed. I want to be energetic. See that picture. And secondly, ask yourself, what is important? Because this connect to your values. You only do something are important to you, which is valuable to you. So that's the question. At least you could ask 3 times or even 5 times, why this is important for me and why that's important to me. And based on each answer, ask why. And you will find something really connect to you. And how might you get it? Maybe you will think about some methods or some steps, some processes. It's very action driven. And the last but not least, I want to share with you is how would you know when you got it? Because sometimes we want to say, hey, I want to get there, but we also need to know even a small achievement we need to celebrate. And the celebration will encourage you to move to the next step. So I think that's all from me. And I hope you enjoy it and you will learn something about coaching. And yeah, I leave the talk here, and thank you for your attention and listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tina. Wow, how amazing. I love hearing your journey about, I mean, I suppose the first step for you was that feeling of, and you talk about your body a lot. And that's, I know what I use coaching tools with my clients. We have that amazing piece of navigational equipment, which is what I call from here down our bodies. And it's where it really gives us our first signs of, as you say, that dissatisfaction, that discomfort. You felt it in your tummy. And when here you were as a young graduate engineer, and you just knew you had something else, and your body was telling you that. And then I love the step where you talked about the vision, that inspiration that you got from that leadership training, and seeing that facilitator and seeing the way she talked and how she was, and interviewing her and going, that's a vision for me. And I think that's part of coaching, and we all do it, as you said, it's self-coaching. We've been doing it from when we were young children, right? From falling off the monkey bars in the playground and getting back up and going back up on them again, coaching ourselves to get back up again.
Exactly.
But for you, it was that, right, where are the gaps? What do I need to do to be able to take that vision, take those small, tiny steps? But then it ended up being a huge step to come out to New Zealand, studying a master's degree as English as a second language. I mean, that is an incredible feat, even publishing in an international journal is amazing. So I love how you've weaved that in. And then that amazing last part where you helped that client of yours to find that belief in themselves of moving from the 7 to the 10, and getting back into the body, back into the imagination, because that's where if we think of anything, right, from our cell phones to anything that we've created that is around us, it all started first as a thought and part of our imagination. So that's where it begins. And I just love how you've woven that in there. As I'm speaking to everybody listening, I just wondered if we've got a few questions, and if you feel free to ask questions in the Q&A function at the bottom of the Zoom screen. And remember, if you see a question you'd like to be asked, you can vote on it and it goes to the top of the screen. So I thought we'll go and have a look at some of the questions, Tina. So quite a few people want this one is, thank you, Tina. What is the most important quality a coach should possess?
Okay. So it seems that everybody wants to be a coach. Welcome, join us. I think the most quality, I believe, is you have to believe everybody is okay. Coaching is different than a teacher, teaching or parenting or something, because sometimes we don't believe the child or the students or the other person is okay. So we always try to fix them. And then by fixing them, you will lose your trust of them. And people, they can feel, if you don't trust them, if you don't believe them, they won't trust themselves. So I think maybe the first quality I want to share is feel people, they are all okay. And you are okay as well as individual. If you don't feel yourself okay, you won't believe others is okay. So maybe that's something I want to share. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the question.
Yeah. I was really interested in the formula for change that you shared. Any advice on how to identify the first steps and have a clear idea of how to get started?
That's a good question. Maybe I can refer to a book if you are interested.
Yeah.
It's one book by, I don't remember the author, Big Island. The name is Get Things Done. You can search the name of the book, Get Things Done. So he introduced several steps, how to chunk the big project into small steps. And the smaller, the easier you will get in. So if you, for example, if I want to travel to Auckland, even it's not allowed at the moment, but for example, if I want to travel to Auckland, then you have to see where I can find the flight, and you schedule the flight and you go to the website, and then maybe the tiny step is I just start to buy a ticket. So something like that. Buying a ticket is not so difficult for you. However, if I travel to Auckland, it's maybe too scary. Something like that. Just think about what is something you can start right now.
Yeah, that's right. I'm holding up a little turtle here. I call it a turtle step. Take what's the tiny little step to get you started. And that was part of that formula, that tiny wee step. And lots of little steps make up to a huge big result at the end. Love it. So
Good.
This one's from Lizzie Lee. Any advice on how managers could integrate coaching when working or developing with individuals or teams' capabilities?
Okay, yeah. So based on my experience, managers, we refer to the people managers, right? We have to take care of others. So maybe there's a lot of theories about managing, leading, and actually I developed a course we call Managing, Leading, and Coach. So the three skills are very important, are key skills for a people manager. So maybe a traditional manager, his skill is just managing people. When you are a manager, you talk from I ask you to do this. I'm responsible, okay? So you pay attention about the subject is the managing, and the leading, normally we use we want to do this. Where we are going to go, we are leading, that's kind of a leading style manager. And another style manager, which has become more and more popular, especially with the young generation came to the workspace, they don't like you to tell them. And interestingly, in the booming market like China, some Asia Pacific, the people resign. The reason that I resign because my manager doesn't listen to me. So interestingly, they didn't talk about the money, they didn't talk something else, just the manager doesn't listen to me.
Wow.
So sometimes coaching as a manager is a very important skill. I recommend all the managers learn coaching, because then instead of telling the student or the colleague to do something, asking them, what did you do? How did this happen? We won't blame all the mistakes. We all learn from mistakes by asking, how did this happen? How could you improve? Next step. And we should give positive feedback. I want to share with you, it's also very efficient. Ask what worked well first. Maybe 3 points, and with one even better if. So you gave him a constructive suggestion, then just simply telling him, use the www first, and then put one EBI.
Help them to find the solutions. Yeah. Then they're more motivated.
How are you going to do? Yeah. And you can use the full question I share with you. You ask the colleague, what do you want? Why this is important? And how are you going to get it? How would you know you achieve it? So those could be the very simple 4 questions as a manager.
Yeah, that's great framework. That's awesome.
Try.
So we've got another question. As a manager, how can you help someone change directional career who clearly needs to change but can't see it themselves?
Okay. Sometimes it's hard. Firstly, if they can't see or they don't want to see. Yeah, but anyway, we can try something like another technique you can consider is a timeline. You can ask open question to the person saying, could you imagine after 10 years or 20 years, how would you see yourself? Tell me how that person looks like. So those kind of questions can really, stimulate them to thinking further. And I'm sure they will see something they want to see. And then we come back. Okay, if you want to be that person, how would you start? What change you could make now to make yourself become that person? And also making choice is important. So we are the choice we made yesterday. So maybe that's something.
So start with that vision once again, that vision of how they see themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, fabulous. And through the time. Yeah.
Great. So how do you realize you really want something to start the first step with? All the noise in the background. With all the noise in the background. There's all the noise in the background, but how do you realize you want something to start?
Yeah,
first step.
because we are not alone in the world, right? We have so many people who love me, and maybe the noise from the people who love us, love me, and listen to your heart.
Yeah,
Listen
that
to
would be
your
my
own
thing
heart.
too. We call it our essential selves, who we truly are, and our social selves, who the world we've been socialized to become. And the more we tune into who we really are, our hearts, our essential selves, the happier we are navigating our career and life.
Yeah. And so that's why meditation is so popular in the world. Meditation is something you just calm down and take deep breaths and listen to your heart. Just something will pump up. So you can try something like that. It takes some time. Yeah.
I also find another tool for what it's worth is this thing here, a pen and a piece of paper, and write. This is my formula, is I just write and write and write, stream of consciousness, and it's amazing what appears on the page. So my true wisdom lies. That's my little tool. Not for everybody,
I will
but
learn
definitely
it.
mine.
I will take it. Thank you, Liz. Yeah.
So another question, Kia ora, Tina, thank you for your talk. Can you talk more about boosting self-confidence? I can be successful at most things, academic and personal life. However, past traumas with others in positions of power continue to impact my confidence in most things I do. Any tips?
Okay. We all had such kind of a challenge. Maybe one small simple tip: the person who is with power, he is just somebody's son. He's not God. Consider he's just a human being. Maybe she is somebody's daughter. He is somebody's son. And then you are the same. And another thing is you are okay. And you also have to learn, you can bring the experience you were successful before to the current moment. It's also something you can use your imagination. And we also have a technique asking you, one moment you really live in confidence. How did you feel at that moment? And if this person lives at that moment, how do you feel? So use a little bit still body energy. And also tell yourself, I'm okay. I'm the best of today in my life.
That's it.
But I could be better.
That's it, because all confidence is a feeling. That's what confidence is. It's not in our minds, it's a feeling. And our feelings live in our body. And it's coming back to the body over and over again. What is confidence? How do I feel? And noticing what, as you said in the past, where have we ever felt confident before? Can we access that? Find the feeling state. Great. So another question, is it appropriate for a company to offer staff coaching when that could lead to staff leaving for new adventures? It's hard to lose people after a company has invested in staff, but it's important to do what is right for the employee. Oh, it's a great question.
Yeah, I will ask you another question. Which situation you think would be better? The people who were trained by you left, or you keep all the people who are not trained in your company?
It's a good way of flipping it.
Yeah. So actually, when you training a people is a responsibility of the company. You have to train. Otherwise, you have all the people who are not trained. However, you have to be open enough. They will choose the best for themselves. However, you have a space to attract even better person in your company if you are good enough.
That's right. Lifts the company.
It's confidence of the company. If
and
you
also,
are a good company,
be future focused. Those people might go on and have other adventures, but they could come back. I think a lot of New Zealand companies are finding that, we have a brain drain. We're not right now, but as soon as those borders open, we will be having a brain drain. And maybe those people will come back to New Zealand and remember how good the company was in the way they treated them and coached them and trained them.
I fully agree. In my career, I had several cases, the people who left the company and rejoined, many cases. As long as you do the right things, people, they will remember and they will compare. Yeah.
That's right. And and the reputation of the company as well is what
Yes, sure. Yeah,
is promoted. Yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
Another question,
Wow.
we've probably got maybe time for one more question. What have you found most valuable when empowering others to work on weaknesses and developing strengths?
Okay, so actually is a balance, focusing on the weakness or developing strengths. My personal experience, I think people, because we all have a short life, and then make your strengths even stronger, maybe is more time efficient than working on some weakness. But if you think weakness is easier to overcome and you can build up on the strengths, please, okay, you can work on it. However, I suggest maybe you work on the strengths and you can work together with people who has different strengths, and then you will have a teamwork. Why not? You can't be perfect in all the areas. So maybe I hope this answered the question. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we've got one more. I'm just looking at the time. We do have one more time for one more question. Thanks for sharing, Tina. You mentioned the first step, which is often the hardest part. I agree with that. Have you found anything useful in terms of overcoming procrastination to change?
I think I don't fully understand the last part. Maybe Liz, you can help me. Yeah.
Like what's stopping you from making that first step, from making that change? And in my opinion, it's up here. It's our thoughts stop us.
Yeah.
And I think it would be stopping and unpacking what's going on in my head and get coaching. Find a coach or find someone who is really good at asking great questions and listening, and let you unpack all that monkey mind stuff going on that's stopping you.
I see. Yeah, thank you. We call such kind of a thoughts gremlins. You know, gremlins is some noises. Yeah, gremlins. And normally we have a full type of gremlins. Like one is I dare not dream. I dare not dream. I'm not the person to dream. And secondly, maybe I'm afraid of being failed. Okay. And the third one, which is also very popular, I'm afraid the other person don't like me if I do it this way. And the last but not least is what will be my next if I complete everything? So some people, they are afraid of completing something. They just want to stay there and keep the comfort zone, something like that. So I think we overcome those. First, we need to accept we are all human beings. We have these gremlins and we are okay having them. However, we need to really ask questions. Like I said, if you stay unchanged, what will happen? Okay, through the time. And if you take tiny step, you change a little bit, what you want to see. So you can do imagination with two different situations and which one you like.
That's right.
Yeah, and you have to be honest to yourself.
That's it. That's the first step, I think, is tell the truth to yourself, which is always really tough sometimes.
Yeah, that's your own life. Yes.
Yeah, this is your life. We haven't got long.
No.
So I say to people. And look, for those of you alumni who are still within that 3 years of you graduating, you can access the service at CDES, Career Development and Employability Services at the university. We can do some coaching with you. It's free for you guys, if you want to access some more of that coaching. So thanks to everyone for their questions, attention, and participation. It's been mine and Tina's pleasure to discuss today's topic of coaching yourself and others, guideposts for a rewarding career, with you today. The Connect and Develop series brings you professional development talks covering topics designed to help you understand and adapt to the changing world of work. Today was talk 4 of the series, with 1 to go. If you like today's topic and want to join us for our last talk, or invite fellow students or alumni, please visit auckland.ac.nz/connect and develop, or forward the link. Thanks again for joining us today. We hope to see you soon at one of the other talks. Go well.